Yes, guys, welcome back to more GBFC. Welcome back to a random ledge in a random part of America. I'm in Vermont right now, which is called the Green State. It's an absolutely gorgeous place. And I've been enjoying a little bit of downtime after the Club World Cup. But transfers, it's crazy. This is a mega transfer window. We've got Liverpool doing what Liverpool supposedly never do, which is spend hundreds of millions in one go on a plethora of different footballers. You've also got Manchester United, a team who last season had their worst ever Premier League season. They fired Erik ten Hag, brought in Ruben Amorim, everything was supposed to be rosy. Turns out there is nothing really rosy about Manchester United. Ruben Amorim has got an incredibly difficult job on his hands. But is that job going to be made any easier with pre-season already starting for Manchester United and then pursuing a player who has outright pledged himself as only wanting to sign for Arsenal? Now, of course, here we are talking about Viktor Gyökeres. Viktor Gyökeres of Sporting Lisbon, a player that had a gentleman's agreement to join Arsenal this summer. Well, the problem with gentleman's agreements is, in football, we're always talking about tens of millions of pounds or euros, and your gentleman's agreement, mate, doesn't really hold that much value compared to a pen-signed paper contract. So to see that all of the stress that's been, taken upon by the player, by the clubs here, in order to get Viktor Gyökeres to Arsenal, doesn't surprise me in the slightest. Viktor Gyökeres is one of the most elite, proven goal scorers in Europe. Yes, the Portuguese league is ranked, 7th when it comes to top leagues in Europe, but there's no denying this guy can score goals. He did it in the Champions League. Yes, it was buffed up by 2 penalties against Man City. The bloke scored a hat-trick. Sporting Lisbon, under Ruben Amorim, dismantled Manchester City. Now, lots of teams have done that in the last year or so, but I just find it absolutely bonkers after signing Mbeumo and Matheus Cunha, who by all accounts I think are 2 very good signings for Manchester United. Anyone trying to play these 2 moves down right now, you're clutching at straws, mate. This team last season could hardly score goals. They had Rasmus Højlund, who in my opinion is the worst striker in the Premier League last year. And I still think if he starts at United again this season, he'll be the worst striker this year, regardless of who is up front for the promoted clubs or West Ham even. You know what I mean? But Matheus Cunha is a fabulous footballer, especially for Ruben Amorim. I think he could be a genius signing for Manchester United. Bryan Mbeumo as well. Guarantees you goals, gets assists, works incredibly hard for the team. Arguably one of the most underrated players in the Premier League. So this is all great. But Viktor Gyökeres, Manchester United have made a couple of attempts now to try and hijack the Gyökeres to Arsenal transfer. If it was me and I was a Manchester United fan, I wouldn't be looking at this and thinking this is the right thing for the club to do. Gyökeres has made it imperatively clear that he wants to move to Arsenal. He's the top goal scorer in Europe. The guy should be playing in the Champions League, and he fits like a glove at Arsenal. I feel like Arsenal have only been a striker who scores goals away from winning a Premier League. Potentially last season, okay, PSG were significantly better than them. I don't think Arsenal would have beaten PSG if they had Viktor Gyökeres, but also hindsight's a wonderful thing. I think this season Arsenal are going to be serious because they're going to sign Viktor Gyökeres. Now, if you're Manchester United and you're a fan of Manchester United, let me know in the comments down below. I don't look at that squad and think that spending 250 million on a brand new attack is going to change everything, because you've still got Onana as your first choice goalkeeper. You've still got an aging defence. Yes, there's a couple of great young players in there. If Lenny Yoro can stay fit for a season, then I think he's going to be your main man. The midfield is also non-existent. And I think what Manchester United are doing here, by signing all of these attackers, and in this case trying to sign Viktor Gyökeres, is pushing Bruno Fernandes further back in that midfield, because, a good new attack's going to score you a load of goals, and then Bruno's obviously a cracking footballer. Bruno Fernandes is a very good player, and without him last season, Manchester United could have been relegated, and I don't think that's hyperbole. They genuinely could have. But if you start pushing him further back into like a more defensive deep line playmaker role, I'm not entirely sure if it's going to get you the same results out of Bruno Fernandes. Yes, he's got more to his game than scoring goals and getting assists. And also there was too much reliance on him last season because there was no quality in the final third. But I guess the point I'm trying to get at here is top strikers, there isn't too many of them. So is it the right thing that Manchester United are looking at what's happening to VIKTO Gyökeres to Arsenal and that deal and thinking, we could swoop in here? I don't think the player's interested in going to Man United at all. I think he wants to play for Arsenal and wants to play in the Premier League. So with that being said, I think Manchester United should be looking elsewhere. And I certainly don't think that the answers to all of Manchester United's problems lie in spending $250 million in one summer on a brand new front three. I think the problems lie across the entire squad. I think the midfield is threadbare. I think the defence is bang average. I think the fullback / Amarim wingbacks are bang average. The goalkeeper is below average. What do Manchester United expect from this coming season? I'd love to know if you're a Manchester United fan in the comments down below. I don't really consume too much Manchester United content online. I watch Saeed TV, and obviously I watch a bit of Goldbridge once in a while too. But I just think anything better than last season at this point just seems like the way to go. But I think Manchester United will certainly improve with the signings of Bryan Mbeumo, who just guarantees you goals and assists and a brilliant work ethic. And Matheus Cunha the same. But I also think if you put Cunha into a toxic environment, into an environment that hasn't weeded out all of the problems at the club, which unfortunately for Manchester United fans, I think fundamentally the problem is the club, not necessarily Ruben Amorim, not necessarily all of the players that you've got who, yes, they're not Manchester United standard, a lot of them. But if you're not going to start changing things, I think Manchester United would do very well in taking a hit this summer and just being like, Chelsea Football Club aren't doing all that bad. And I know this is crazy coming from me because a few months ago I was saying I didn't think this model was going to work. But it's funny what winning trophies and actually seeing a team as a cohesive unit, which Enzo Maresca has formulated and formed that at Chelsea. So, of course, it's got my backing now because I've seen results on the pitch. And I think that's what Manchester United fans, if I were to guess right now, you guys just want to see consistent results on the field. You want to see a team out there that's going to fight for things and be able to compete. So maybe just going out there and blowing a couple of $100 million on a fresh new attack, is that going to be enough? To me, it seems like a gamble. I think Manchester United, with what they've got in that squad, it's an aging squad. Yes, there's a few young players in there, but I think a complete revamp and a complete rebuild is 100% necessary. And it might mean that you struggle again this season. It might mean that it takes a few years to get back to the top. Maybe they don't have that. Maybe that's what the approach is this summer. Maybe the finances are looking so bleak that it's like, right, you know what? We're going to have to just go out there this summer and rinse the transfer market, spend a ton of money, because otherwise we might not get Champions League. But you're going to get Champions League just by signing Gyökeres and Mbeumo and Cunha? Don't know what they're doing over there, but it sounds a little bit dodgy. I'm not sure you are. But I think fundamentally what is happening to VIKTO Gyökeres, I think this is going to get done. And I would love to know why at this point it's taking Arsenal so long to iron out these details with Sporting Lisbon. Is it Sporting Lisbon being the most difficult? Is it Arsenal being like, oh, we're not going to do it this way, we're not going to do it that way? In which case, are Man United doing the right thing and just kind of lurking in the wings like vultures, waiting for this Gyökeres to Arsenal deal to collapse and fall through? Only time will tell. But personally, I think VIKTO Gyökeres ends up at Arsenal. As for Manchester United, Nicholas Jackson, those rumours kind of died down a bit yesterday. Ben Jacobs was reporting about Manchester United are not going to go in for Nicholas Jackson. I would be pretty sure that was because of the price that Chelsea have set, but fair play to Chelsea. Hugo Ekitike's gone to Liverpool for nearly 80 million quid. Let's not lie about the price, shall we, just because it's Liverpool. Let's talk about those add-ons. Let's talk about the total. Apparently they're offering him 300 grand a week as well. What's happened to Liverpool? Didn't think they worked that way. Didn't think they did that kind of thing. So, yeah, looks as though that's happening there. So if they're not going for Nicholas Jackson, Benjamin Sesko looks like the next option for Manchester United. And again, could work, might not. It's very young, very raw. I think he needs a lot of nurturing. I think he needs to go and fit into an environment where the club problems don't overweigh anything else. And I think at Manchester United, Amorim's biggest issue is that I think the football club problems are going to overweigh the ability and moment he's going to have on the pitch to actually solve anything. So big problems, I think, still at Manchester United, to be fair. And look, you know, I don't like Man United, I'm a Chelsea fan, but looking at it from the outside, I just think they need to sign an entire new team, not just the new front three. But anyway, if you're a Manchester United fan, I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments down below. Nicholas Jackson's a great player, by the way, and I don't want Chelsea to sell him, just to make that very clear. I'm not here saying, don't go for Gyökeres, go for my striker and give me 80 million. I don't want Chelsea to sell Nicholas Jackson to Manchester United. Certainly think it might be too good to refuse if an offer of £80 million did come in. But then that's also us looking after the football club, looking after the finances, looking at what we bought Jackson for and seeing an opportunity when we've already spent 80 million on Pedro and Delap. Is that a smarter option? Possibly yes, probably yes. But anyway, gonna wrap this video up here. If you enjoy these more GBFC videos, please do smack a like. I'm in the process of getting back into things, but for the new season, I'm telling you, this is gonna be the place to be. I'm gonna be posting every day on more GBFC as well as the main channel. It's just so busy right now with Chelsea news. So yeah, thanks for watching. Subscribe if you are new, smack a like if you enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys later.